It's Monday, November 11th, 2024. Thanks for joining me today. A shout out, mad respect to all the veterans out there. Thank you so much. God bless every one of you. Hope everybody's having a good Veterans Day today. I'm going to get right into this video. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. So much has been happening with these markets as of late. And I want to ask a question. Comment down below. Can we avoid a collapse? Can we avoid the recession, depression? Is it even possible? You know, now as I'm watching some of the financial channels today, watching videos last night, just watching this stuff daily, it seems that there's a lot of people in America that think that everything is okay. And I have a couple questions. One of them being, is the banking sector now all of a sudden safe? I mean, we know that the majority of U.S. banks are insolvent. Is commercial real estate now rebounding? Is the national debt that is nearly $36 trillion going to be paid back? The $1 trillion in interest on the debt. I don't understand why people think that there's no danger out there, that now we're entering this utopia, that this new administration is just going to make all this stuff go away in a matter of a couple of years. It's not going to be that easy. Everybody's giddy over what's happening in the stock market, what's happening in crypto, and it's amazing that, you know, all it takes is a little bit of good news and we're off to the races. Yet, none of the problems have been fixed. We have a housing crisis taking place, a commercial real estate apocalypse taking place. We've got the biggest debt and deficits in world history. We're watching people continue to lose jobs. Inflation is still much too high. And yet, people are rejoicing that all this has gone away. It has not. People are getting very, very complacent. You know, Jim Rogers, I watched a video the other day with Jim Rogers, and he was just talking about, you know, this complacency and that, you know, people are confident right now. They're complacent. They're celebrating. This is when things happen, when you least expect it. Of course, you know, people are watching the television, they're watching the stock market. Everything's fine. There's no threat. It's never going to crash. Don't be negative. Everything's going to be fine. This is what gets people in trouble. Their defense is down. Their guard is down. You know as well as I do that financially, this country is completely bankrupt. Let me repeat, it is completely bankrupt. And yet we are celebrating all-time highs on the stock market, the crypto sensation that is back. But, you know, how quickly things can change, and we've seen that, but people forget about that very, very quickly. CNBC, Dow jumps 300 points, poised for first close above 44,000 as the new administration enthusiasm continues. Should markets be this optimistic, ladies and gentlemen? Are there still dangers out there? Are there threats out there? They are just pumping these markets up with good news. The algorithms love it. I just think that things have gotten now so out of control, so frothy, so overvalued. We don't even have this president in the office yet. And it is just absolutely amazing what is going on. Now, look, I'm very optimistic. I think we're going to see some very, very good people come in. I think we're going to see some very good changes. But at the end of the day, $36 trillion of debt, $200 trillion of unfunded liabilities. Do not forget this. This is not going away. And nobody's really talking about how they're going to fix this. Tariffs will not fix this. Bitcoin surges 10%, topping, it says 87 here. I just saw a top 88,000 as crypto euphoria over Trump win shows no sign of waning. This is unbelievable what is taking place, and God bless you if you're making money right now. But again, this is something to me that is backed by absolutely nothing. How quickly we've seen this whole market collapse too. As soon as there's a little bit of bad news or missiles are flying into certain countries, it all comes winding down. And look, I'm not going to sit here and rain on your parade if you're making money. God bless you. I hope you are, but I hope that you're pulling some of those profits out, because you do not know how long this is going to last. I see a lot of people talking about how that, there are certain entities out there, players out there, allowing all this to bubble up. And it is just a matter of time before you see a rug pull. And this would be so damaging to so many people. But, when we look at another article today on CNBC, forecasting Bitcoin's future price expectations for 2025, they're talking about it going to $1 million in 2025. This should be absolutely illegal to be even saying stuff like this, because this gets people in an absolute frenzy. And of course, everybody will say that they know everything about the cryptos, they know everything about Bitcoin. Most of these people know absolutely nothing. They are trying to make quick money. This is not a safe haven asset. This is not a currency. This is quick money. This is gambling 101, and all of us know that. Nobody's buying Bitcoin going, oh, I'm going to sit on it for 20 years and it'll be there for me when I retire. People are buying it right now today, hoping that it goes up $5,000 tomorrow so that they can make quick money. Let's all be honest, this is complete gambling. But when CNBC puts articles out that it's going to $1 million, they are really pumping this thing up. Wall Street Journal: does Warren Buffett know something that we don't? For the first time in 6 years, Berkshire Hathaway has stopped buying stocks. Is there something to this? We've talked about this many, many times. Are markets too frothy? Are stock values too stretched? I think they are. Warren Buffett says there's no upside in risky stocks. Look at how overvalued these stocks are, how pricey they are. If you want to get into the stock market right now, you are going to be paying the highest price in history to get in. How much longer can this go? I have no idea. I personally would have thought this thing would have blown up a long time ago, but this bubble is going to be absolutely monumental, and it will blow up. There is absolutely no fundamentals behind any of this right now. Except, the good news that there's a new administration coming in that has yet to do anything yet, and I think they're going to do some great things. But people they cannot wait for things to happen. They are jumping in, with both feet right now, and this thing is ramping up. And how far it goes, I have no idea, but I think it's extremely dangerous. Be very, very cautious, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you're pulling some profits right now. Here's another one today. Americans are feeling anxious, so they're doom spending. This while credit card debt is being driven higher. It says here, people with anxiety are doom spending to soothe their fears. Do you think that this is a good idea? This to me is an absolute horrible idea. It's a terrible therapy to go out and spend when you're not in a good mood, or because you feel that you deserve something, so you're going to go out and buy something, but things aren't going your way. So what's the best way to solve things? Go out and spend money, especially money you don't even have. So I mean, we have an anxiety problem in America, no doubt about it. And the answer is not to go out and doom spend and spend more money, because your anxiety is only going to go up further when you have a 23% interest rate on your credit card, when you can't pay this debt back. Your anxiety is going to go up much, much higher. But people cannot control themselves. When we look at the average person now in America, they can't stop eating, they can't stop spending, they can't stop, taking drugs. They just cannot control themselves. So this will be more of a problem down the road. But do you really think that this is a good idea? Comment down below to just spend money that you don't have because of your anxiety. I think it's a horrible idea. Here's another one today from retaildive.com. 67% of parents will use buy now, pay laters to finance the holidays. Now remember, about 30% of people haven't even paid off last holidays spending spree on their credit cards. So they've carried that debt over now, going on 12 months. Nearly 40% of consumers plan to use buy now, pay later plans for self-gifting during the holidays. Buy now, pay later purchases have risen 14% year over year in 2023. That number will probably be much higher in 2024. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this. But I'm sure that the news this Christmas will be record-breaking shopping season, record-breaking spending for December of 2024. Now, whether I believe that or you believe that, who knows? I mean, the data is so manipulated, so controlled. Who knows what's real, what's not? But I wouldn't doubt it because, again, people cannot control themselves. They cannot control their eating, their pharmaceutical use, their spending, their debt. They cannot control any of this stuff. So it would not surprise me because people just believe that everything's going to just miraculously be better in 2025. And look, I am very optimistic about this administration, but I'm also a realist. You cannot rule out that $36 trillion in debt, $200 trillion in unfunded liabilities is just going to be resolved overnight. It has not been fixed, and the debts are going to get bigger. The deficits are going to continue to get bigger. Nothing's been fixed. And, people are going to go out and spend, doom spend, or they're just going to, put it on the credit cards and just fool themselves that, hey, next year I'm going to make more money. Everything's, prices are going to go down. I'm going to be fine. So I might as well spend right now because things are going to be better in a couple months. You don't know that, ladies and gentlemen. Do not be fooled here. Because what if they're not? You've now acquired more debt. Uncertainty looms as Boeing prepares to issue layoff notices to 17,000 workers this week. This on CNN. Well, Merry Christmas to all of these people. 17,000 Boeing workers about to get laid off. 10% of the workforce is going to be gone like that. Now, the machinists at Boeing got a 38% pay raise. So in order to afford to pay these machinists a 30% increase, what do they have to do? Well, they have to get rid of a lot of jobs. So 10% of the people at Boeing will be gone. And let's not forget that this new administration has already made it very, very clear that a lot of these government jobs, these non-essential government jobs that you and I are paying for, they're going to be gone too, and they should be. But that's going to put a lot of people in jeopardy that work for the government. They're not going to have a job, and it is going to get much more difficult as the days go on to find a well-paying job, ladies and gentlemen. So I do believe that we're going to see a lot more layoffs in 2025. Peter Schiff, what's next for the president? The Fed, he says, is going to have to go back to quantitative easing. The only way they can stop long-term interest rates from soaring and crushing the economy, he says, and also affecting the stock market, the banks, etc. The only way they can stop all of this from literally collapsing is more QE. What do you think about that? Are we going to see more QE? It's very, very possible. He says, my fear is they crash the economy and blame the new administration, the free market, the president, capitalism, deregulation. They're going to blame all of this on the collapse. That this is the cause of the collapse. And so it's very, very possible. We know there's some very nefarious players out there. If you think that this is all going to go smoothly in 2025, you are drinking the Kool-Aid. Let me ask all of you another question. Are things going to continue to soar? Are these markets going to continue to soar every day now into 2025 for the remainder of this year? I certainly have no idea. I don't think it's going to be that easy. There's so much debt out there. Let's not forget what's happening with the BRICS nations. If they go to a partial gold-based currency or currencies, this could change everything because I can guarantee you they're not going to be taking Bitcoin. They're going to be taking gold-backed currencies. They're going to want something physical sitting behind these fiat currencies, or they're just not going to do business with you. So I think a lot of things are about to change, some for the better, some for the worse. But, I just don't see when you have decades and decades of this reckless spending, 0% interest rates, all of these wars, all of these bank issues that we have, the corporate buybacks that we've been doing for many, many years. Now, all this manipulation, that how in the world does anybody out there think that this is just going to go away and not be a big problem with this new administration? I think it's going to be a very, very serious problem. And when you have people now, spending 30, 40%, 50% of their income on a mortgage or rent, this is completely unsustainable. There are too many things in this economy right now that are unsustainable. And there are too many people living paycheck to paycheck, 80% of this country, too much debt. The average person is just burdened with debt and they cannot stop spending. They're going to continue spending money they don't have because of credit cards. And so how is this sustainable? And what is going to turn this around? Manufacturing would be great, but you've got to build factories. That takes years. Some of these changes that are coming are going to take years. I think there's some really great things coming. I'm very optimistic. I'm very positive. I think we're heading in the right direction, but these changes will take years. I do see some relief coming early on, which will be great. But again, there has been so much damage done. You are fooling yourself. You are drinking the Kool-Aid if you think that this stuff is going to be resolved in a year or two. It's just too much damage, and who knows what could come out of left field. So the moral of the story is, ladies and gentlemen, do not be complacent. Don't believe everything you're seeing, everything you're hearing, because this can turn very, very quickly, extremely fast. And so again, a lot of people feel great right now. They're optimistic. The markets are on absolute fire right now. And nobody sees any fear. Nobody sees any threats. Nobody's concerned. And this is when things happen when you least expect it. When the majority doesn't think anything could possibly happen, this is when it happens. So I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month, but be aware that there is danger out there. And it's going to take one bad day and it brings this whole entire thing down. Do you really think that things are just going to go up every day for the rest of our life? That there's going to be no corrections, no collapses? We are so overdue for something big. I mean, just go back, look at these cycles, look at history. But they are manipulating, they've printed so much money and done so much behind the scenes to keep this facade going on. What happens when the tricks don't work anymore? What happens if your dollar goes to zero? What happens when there's new currencies now out there? There's just so much that could happen. What happens if the stock market crashes tomorrow? Could you imagine the massacre that we would see in this country with so many people that are in the markets, in real estate, in the cryptos? People, everything they have is literally on a computer screen, digits on a screen. Be extremely cautious. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful, blessed Veterans Day. God bless every one of you. God bless America. Let's keep praying for this country. I certainly don't want to give up. I still think that there's hope, that there's a chance, but we've got to be realistic and we've got to solve this debt for sure. Stay safe. Talk to all of you very, very soon.